Imagine spending like $40 online today, and by tomorrow morning, you own the commercial rights to a fully mastered radio quality pop song.
Right. And you didn't hire a singer, you didn't rent a recording studio.
Exactly. You didn't even touch a single musical instrument. But the song is entirely yours, and it's customized to your exact story.
It's kind of wild to think about.
It really is. Welcome to today's deep dive. Whether you're an aspiring creator trying to find your voice, maybe a digital marketer trying to figure out where the internet is heading, or you're just someone looking for an insanely unique anniversary gift, this one is definitely for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Because today, our mission is to explore the booming industrialization of the creator economy. Specifically, we are looking at the global recorded music market. And get this, it's projected to hit a staggering $45.5 billion by 2030.
Yeah, and that massive valuation isn't just being driven by the traditional, legacy record labels in Los Angeles or London anymore.
Right.
The needle is increasingly being moved by independent voices. I mean, the barrier to entry for creating and distributing professional audio is just collapsing right in front of us.
It's collapsing fast.
Yeah.
And to understand how that collapse is actually playing out on the ground, we are pulling from a massive stack of investor and product pitch decks from a company called Visionary Voice Media Private Limited, along with its subsidiaries.
They're doing some really fascinating stuff.
They really are. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
The core problem these documents highlight is universally relatable, right? Everybody has a story.
Definitely.
But traditionally, turning that story into a professional piece of music is just incredibly friction heavy. You're looking at thousands of dollars, months of back and forth, and just an overwhelming amount of technical complexity.
And that friction is exactly why the traditional music industry functioned as a highly gated community for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you had corporate backing or substantial personal wealth, your song simply remained an abstract idea in your head.
Just a shower thought, basically.
Exactly. But what these decks reveal is a literal blueprint for how modern technology is systematically dismantling those gates. We are looking at an industrialized pipeline.
Which is designed to take an idea, turn it into a track, push it to every corner of the internet, and then collect micropennies of revenue from every single play.
Right. But before you can collect those micropennies, you have to actually make the product.
Good point. So let's look at the creation bottleneck. Traditionally, if you wanted to record a track, you needed to rent studio time by the hour.
Which is not cheap.
Not at all. You had to hire a composer, find a vocalist, and, bring in an audio engineer just to mix it all together. It was a really slow, agonizing process.
And very expensive.
Which brings us to the first major solution outlined in the sources. So Visionary Voice Media's flagship platform is called Express in Music.
Okay.
And they promise to take literally any emotion or story and turn it into a professionally crafted song in a matter of hours, not months.
What's fascinating here is the sheer scale of that promise.
Right.
Because, they aren't just targeting the English-speaking pop market.
All right.
They have actually built an infrastructure that operates in over 9 Indian languages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, including Punjabi, Marathi, Tamil, Kashmiri, Bengali, Gujarati, Kannada, and Telugu.
That is massive reach.
It is. From a business perspective, they clearly recognize that real emotional connection, like the kind of connection that actually drives user engagement and sharing, that happens in local languages and regional dialects.
That makes a lot of sense. And they've categorized that emotional connection into 3 very distinct, highly structured pricing tiers.
Let's break those down.
Yeah. So first, there is the individual package. This is geared toward personal moments like birthdays or anniversaries. It costs 3,999 rupees, and they deliver a fully mixed and mastered original song in just 24 hours.
24 hours, that's fast.
Super fast. Then they scale up to the business package, which is priced at 9,100 rupees. Now, this one is designed for brand anthems, startup launches, or promotional tracks.
Like so.
You get higher production quality, commercial usage rights, a 72-hour delivery window, and they include the raw audio stems.
Okay, let's pause there for a second.
Sure.
Because for those of you who aren't audio engineers, you might be wondering, what exactly are stems and why would a digital marketer pay extra for them?
Yeah, that is a great question. Basically, when a song is completely finished, it's typically bounced down into a single stereo audio file. Like everything is glued together.
Right, the final track.
Exactly. Stems are the isolated individual component tracks of that song. So you have one audio file that is just the isolated vocals, another file that is just the drum beat, one that is just the bass line.
Oh, I see.
And marketers really need these stems because it allows them to remix the audio for different social media formats.
That's smart.
Yeah. For example, if they are making, say, an Instagram reel, they might just want the isolated drum beat underneath their video without the vocals clashing with their voiceover.
Right, right. So offering stems turns a single song into a highly flexible toolkit for a brand.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, you're buying the ingredients, not just the baked cake.
Great way to put it.
Finally, they have the institution package, which comes in at 21,000 rupees. This tier is built for large-scale NGO campaigns, social awareness movements, and political messaging.
Doing.
It includes strategic lyric writing, extended usage rights, and takes about 160 hours to deliver. But now, because these sources explicitly mention political campaigns as a target market for this tier, we do need to pause for a quick disclaimer.
Good call.
As always on the show, we do not endorse or take sides on any political viewpoints contained in our source material. We are strictly reporting on the business models and strategies outlined in these decks entirely impartially.
Exactly. We're just looking at the mechanics of the business.
Right. So, putting the politics completely aside, this tiered system is essentially a bespoke emotional tailoring service. But here's where I kind of have to play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
We live in the era of generative AI.
We do.
Anyone can go online, type a text prompt into an AI music generator, and it will instantly spit out a completed song for free. Why on earth would you pay 3,999 rupees and wait an entire day when an algorithm can just do it right now at zero cost?
That is the exact friction point this technology targets.
Yeah.
And honestly, the pitch decks address it head on.
Do they?
Yeah, the company takes a very explicit stance against 100% AI generation. Their core argument is that pure, unadulterated AI music lacks genuine personalization and emotional depth.
Because it just feels generic.
Exactly.
Yeah?
It feels generic because the machine is really just predicting the next logical audio waveform based on its training data. Instead, Express in Music utilizes a hybrid production model.
Okay, a hybrid model. So how does that workflow actually operate in practice? Are they just using the AI to write the lyrics and then having a human sing it?
It is actually the other way around in many cases.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Technology is used to accelerate the heavy lifting of the experimentation phase. For instance, a producer can use AI tools to instantly generate 50 different chord progressions.
Right, or map out the rhythm and tempo of a track in seconds.
Exactly. It's doing all the tedious mathematical work of music production. But a machine doesn't understand the cultural nuance of a Marathi folk idiom.
Oh, of course not.
Or the specific emotional weight of a Kashmiri dialect. So a human lyricist writes the words to ensure cultural authenticity. Then a human singer actually performs the track.
Because a human vocalist brings breath and like those slight timing imperfections.
The emotional resonance. Things that AI still really struggles to authentically replicate without sounding, synthetic or robotic.
It's like using AI as a superpowered spell checker and advanced grammar software, but you still absolutely need a human author to write a compelling plot and give the characters a soul.
Perfect analogy.
You got
the speed and scalability of the machine, but the emotional resonance of the human.
Okay, so we've solved the creation bottleneck. You have this hard drive full of great, culturally nuanced, affordable music, but a hard drive doesn't pay the rent. The mechanism that turns an MP3 into an actual paycheck for an independent artist has historically been completely broken.
Oh, completely. It's notoriously difficult.
Getting people to hear your track and getting platforms to actually pay you for those streams is an entirely different beast.
It's the distribution maze. And the sources paint a pretty stark reality here. Millions of independent songs are uploaded every single year, and the vast majority generate literally zero revenue.
Because the ecosystem is just wildly fragmented. Traditionally, a DIY artist had to figure out how to manually upload their tracks to Spotify, Apple Music, and a dozen regional platforms.
And often using different aggregators with completely different metadata requirements. It's a headache.
Not to mention the absolute black box of royalty tracking. If you are an independent artist, you usually have no idea where your music is being played globally.
Let alone how much you are actually owed.
Right. Enter the second major pillar of their business, the Vision Music Distribution Network. This is their answer to the fragmented nightmare.
So what does it do?
It's a platform where a creator uploads their track once, and the system handles global distribution to over 50 major platforms automatically.
Wow. 50.
Yeah, that includes the global giants like Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon, but also crucial regional players in India like JioSaavn, Gaana, and Wink.
And crucially, they are pushing this audio directly into social media libraries as well.
Yes.
Because when someone searches for a sound to use as the background of their TikTok, or an Instagram reel, or a Facebook post, Vision Music ensures your track is right there in that database.
And in today's economy, that short-form video placement is where virality actually happens.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the financials of this distribution network, though, because the numbers are aggressive.
Let's hear it.
The sources detail a revenue-sharing model. Vision Music promises 100% transparent royalty tracking with real-time analytics. In exchange, the platform takes a 30% commission, and the artist keeps 70%. Now, I have to ask, if this company claims to be creator first, isn't a 30% cut incredibly steep for an independent artist who is doing all the creative heavy lifting in their bedroom studio?
That's a fair point. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, you have to look at the mechanics of how that 30% is actually being utilized.
Okay, how so?
The decks detail what they call multiple revenue streams.
Yeah.
That 30% commission is basically funding access to an enterprise-grade monetization infrastructure that a solo artist simply cannot build or manage on their own.
What kind of infrastructure?
For example, it includes automated YouTube Content ID monetization.
Ah, right. And for anyone who doesn't know how Content ID works, it is basically acoustic fingerprinting.
Exactly.
The system creates a digital fingerprint of your song. Then it constantly scans the millions of videos uploaded to YouTube every single day.
Right.
If a travel vlogger uses, say, 5 seconds of your track in the background of their video, the system automatically flags it and redirects the ad revenue from their video right into your bank account. Doing that manually is impossible.
Exactly the point.
Yeah.
And the infrastructure also manages things like sync licensing.
Which is when your music is synchronized with moving images, right?
Right, like being placed in a television commercial, a web series, or a film. Music supervisors for major TV networks do not take cold calls from independent artists.
So true.
Vision Music acts as the intermediary, pitching the catalog to these supervisors. They are also managing public relations, playlist pitching, and digital marketing.
So it's less like a toll booth just taking a cut of your Spotify streams and more like they're acting as an entire back office legal, marketing, and management team for a teenager recording in their bedroom.
That's a great way to look at it. You trade a percentage of your revenue for a machine that aggressively hunts down every micro penny your intellectual property generates across the entire internet.
And the scale they are projecting is massive. By year 5, they are aiming to reach over 1.1 billion listeners cumulatively.
1.1 billion.
Yeah, projecting total payouts to artists exceeding $120 million.
That represents a real structural shift in how independent music is monetized. But when you read deeper into the strategic roadmap of the parent company, Visionary Voice Media, it becomes clear they are not stopping at just providing helpful services.
No, they are attempting to build an inescapable closed-loop ecosystem. The goal is a self-sustaining flywheel for the creator economy.
Yes.
And that brings us to the final pieces of the puzzle outlined in the decks. Beyond creating the song with Expressa Music and distributing it with Vision Music, they are developing 2 entirely new platforms to capture even more of the value chain.
Right. Let's talk about Collabverse.
Yes. First is Collabverse. This is a creator brand collaboration marketplace. It uses data and AI to match the independent creators in their network with corporate brands looking for influencer marketing campaigns.
And Visionary Voice takes a 20% commission from the creator's revenue on those deals. Plus, they charge the brands a monthly subscription fee just to access the platform.
Incredible. And the second platform in development is Visionix TV. The pitch deck bills this as a digital streaming and OTT platform.
And for anyone unfamiliar with the jargon, OTT stands for over the top. It refers to any streaming media service offered directly to viewers via the internet, completely bypassing traditional cable or satellite television.
Think Netflix or Hulu.
Exactly. Visionix TV is designed to be a dedicated hub for premium content, original shows, documentaries, and exclusive live concerts featuring the creators within their own network.
Okay, here's what gets really interesting, but also, let's be honest, incredibly risky.
Yeah, this part is bold.
Creating custom hybrid songs is a fantastic, proven niche. Distributing music is a highly scalable, solid B2B service, but launching Visionix TV, building a brand new OTT streaming platform from scratch in an attention economy that is already completely dominated by giants like YouTube, Netflix, and Amazon Prime.
It sounds kind of crazy.
Isn't that flying a bit too close to the sun?
I mean, this raises an important question about user acquisition and retention. It seems risky if you view Visionix TV as a direct competitor to Netflix.
Right.
But that's a misreading of their strategy. They aren't trying to beat Netflix. They are building a walled garden.
A walled garden, like a closed ecosystem.
Exactly, where the provider has total control over the applications, content, and media. Think about the creator's lifecycle here.
Okay.
An artist uses Express in Music to produce a high-quality track. They distribute that track through Vision Music, and the platform's marketing engine helps them build an audience. Because they now have an audience, they log into Collabverse to secure a lucrative brand sponsorship. Finally, they stream an exclusive behind-the-scenes documentary or live acoustic set on Visionix TV.
Oh, I see the logic now. The strategy is to maximize the lifetime value of a single creator.
Exactly.
You don't need a billion generic subscribers on your OTT platform if you have a highly engaged, hyper-local audience tuning in specifically to watch the indie artists they discovered on your distribution network. You capture revenue at every single touch point.
Right. And those touch points are filled with microtransactions. The investor decks heavily emphasize what they call add-on revenue.
Like what?
Well, when a user buys a song, the transaction rarely stops there. You can pay an additional fee for lyric customization. You can pay for those stem tracks we talked about earlier.
Wow, right.
You can even pay for a karaoke minus track, which is an industry term for a version of the song where the lead vocal is entirely muted, allowing you to sing over the professional instrumental at a live event.
That is brilliant.
They even outline plans for minting the tracks as NFTs or selling custom physical merchandise like T-shirts tied directly to the song's release. Every interaction is engineered to increase the average order value.
And all of these highly engineered, interconnected revenue streams, the custom songs, the distribution commissions, the brand deals, the OTT subscriptions, all culminate in their financial roadmap.
Yes, let's look at the numbers.
Over a 5-year period, they're projecting a combined total revenue of 283.5 crore rupees. And just to look at their aggressive growth trajectory, they expect to hit 103 crore rupees in revenue in the 2029-2030 fiscal year alone.
Which brings them to a target valuation of 500 crore rupees.
Wow.
Yeah. And to fuel that scaling process, the documents outline an active investment ask. They are seeking strategic growth partners, with minimum investments starting at 25 lakhs and capping at 2.5 crore rupees.
Okay.
But rather than getting lost in the specific math of a venture capital pitch, what is truly compelling is how they plan to deploy that capital.
Where is the money going?
They're allocating 40% to marketing and user acquisition, 30% to operations, and 30% strictly to technology development.
Like pushing the AI.
Specifically pushing the boundaries of that AI hybrid production software, and expanding the global reach of the distribution tracking.
So what does this all mean? If you take a step back and trace the entire journey we've mapped out today, it is genuinely mind-bending.
It really is.
We started with a person logging onto a website, paying 3,999 rupees to have an AI-assisted, culturally authentic Marathi song created in 24 hours just to celebrate a personal memory.
It's a simple personal moment.
Right. And we followed that exact same technological pipeline all the way up to a corporate entity seeking millions in investment to build a 500 crore closed-loop media empire. It shows you how the underlying mechanics of human expression are changing.
It's the ultimate industrialization of creativity. For years, the creator economy was defined by chaotic, trial-and-error growth. It was a wild west where independent artists just threw things at the wall to see what stuck.
Yeah.
What Visionary Voice Media is building represents the gentrification of that Wild West. The barriers to expressing yourself with studio-quality audio have literally never been lower.
But the infrastructure required to actually turn that expression into a sustainable, monetized career has never been more sophisticated.
Or more centralized.
It completely reframes how you look at the digital economy. Whether you are an everyday consumer listening to a playlist on your commute, or an independent artist desperately trying to get the algorithm to notice your work, the unseen gears turning behind the scenes are shifting.
You are no longer just participating in an art form.
No, you are interacting with an incredibly optimized end-to-end data pipeline.
And looking at that pipeline leaves us with a rather profound question to consider.
What's that?
If technology and walled garden ecosystems eventually make it effortless for absolutely anyone to create distribute, and perfectly monetize radio-quality music,
Hmm.
what happens to our cultural history?
Oh, wow.
If the local folk songs, regional anthems, and indie tracks of tomorrow are all generated, distributed, and owned within a single corporate entity's AI-assisted ecosystem, does the very concept of independent music cease to exist?
That is a fascinating point. When every voice can effortlessly find its song, does the true value of art shift away from the music itself and entirely toward the community that surrounds it?
Exactly. It's a frictionless world of music where the infrastructure owns every step of the journey.
It is a brilliant business model, but it definitely leaves you wondering who really holds the pen when the soundtrack of the future is written. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.